Hello, hello. It's that time again. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Torn Book Club. I, as always, am Josh, your host, aka Saruman, and the chat is already going strong. I see we've got Temple, Rovandir, I Stole the One Ring, Eva, Jan, and a new one, Eruvandi, and a couple Ustreamers with huge strings of numbers behind their names. So welcome to all of you. Eruvandi says, it's my first live show. Yay, congratulations. I'm so happy you're here. So, as with last week, we are doing a get to know you show, which is basically my excuse for I couldn't come up with anything else to talk about this month, so I'm going to be talking to all of you. And last week we had a really fun chat with Jan and with Temple and with I Stole the One Ring. And I'm hoping some other people will Skype in at some point. I just got another friend request on Skype. Let me take care of that real quick. And basically, I'd like to keep the conversation going. I would like to start out with a little message to Jan real quick. I hope you're listening. You're in the chat. Over the last few weeks or so, he has been recommending to me that I watch The Prestige, and last week I did just that. And I have to say, I really liked it. I thought it was a fantastic movie. I thought, as with all Christopher Nolan movies, the twist ending is kind of telegraphed a bit, but I thought it was done very well, and there were a number of twists in this that I did see coming, but there was one that I did not see coming, which actually surprised me very nicely. I won't say what it was, but I genuinely enjoyed this movie, so thank you, Jan, for the recommendation. Everybody is talking about joining the dark side. What is that? Join the dark side. We have cookies and books. Cookies and books. It's pretty much all you need in life. So today is actually kind of a big day geek world-wise. We've got... it's a Geek Pride Day, for one, which is essentially the day in 1977 when Star Wars officially hit screens. And today is also Towel Day for Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And it is also Ian McKellen's birthday, so happy birthday, Ian McKellen, our favorite wizard, Gandalf, and I just saw him last night in X-Men Days of Future Past, which is another fantastic movie that I highly recommend. So I won't go too much into X-Men. I love X-Men. I thought that that this movie was a fantastic addition. And I thought McKellen, while he didn't have a humongous role in this movie, I mean, the main bulk of Magneto in this movie does go to Michael Fassbender, but what he does is still phenomenal, him and Patrick Stewart. So yeah, X-Men was great. Ian McKellen is always great. So yeah. And also forgot to mention, this week, Tolkien's Beowulf hit shelves officially. I've got my copy, and I'm beginning to read through it, and it's a fascinating read so far. What I'm liking about it so far is that it doesn't quite read just like a stoic, dry, scholarly text. Because there are lots of notes in it. There's lots of introductions and explanations of translations and stuff like that, but it's done in such a way that it sort of brings you in and sort of makes you part of this story, because it is as much a Tolkien story, the story of how Tolkien grew as a philologist, as it is this translation of Beowulf. And we'll be talking about that more in the weeks to come, no doubt, as I go through it. Temple is saying Days of Future Past has to be good. It's too hard to screw up that story. You know what? I'll give you that, but I have to say, just for the fun of it, I was rewatching the X-Men animated version of Days of Future Past, and it was not as compelling as this movie, I'll be honest. It was interesting, but it didn't quite engross me the same way the movie did. I'm just saying. Light of the King has her copy of Beowulf. Yay! So, just one more little bit. We've got our book of the month, which for May, which is coming to an end, and it is Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. An interesting little bit of information came out this week about this. As you may have heard, Tim Burton is going to be directing a film version of this book, and apparently the official title for it has changed slightly from the book title. Instead of it being called Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, it is now being called Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiars, which, if you're reading the book, peculiars is also a term that is used in the book, so it still works. It shortens it a little bit, and I'm curious to see what changes are made to the story to make that title more relevant. So next week we will be discussing Miss Peregrine, and I'm looking forward to hearing what all of you have to say. Rovandir is saying still on the waiting list on the library for that. I'm not sure if you're talking about Miss Peregrine or if you're talking about Beowulf. Aravandi says, I think I tried to read Beowulf for school once, but got really confused. I honestly, I agree with you. I've tried reading Beowulf before and got very confused by it. Rovandir is saying, yes, Peregrine is the one she's still on the waiting list for. So, sorry about that. We'll try to keep spoilers to a minimum next week, but no guarantees. Beowulf isn't in the library yet. Well, they need to get on that. And Eva is saying, just finished the book today. I really liked it. Good. Temple says, I'm a little concerned about Tim Burton's association now. I love the feeling of reality that the book has, and Burton tends to focus more on the strange fantasy. And, well, you're not wrong, Temple. I mean, he definitely does that, particularly lately. But I do feel that Tim Burton has the potential to do this very well, and I'm speaking from the perspective of his movie Big Fish, which I thought was one of his more underrated movies. It has its fantastical elements, but it also has its real-world elements, and it balances the two very well. And I think that with the right story, Tim Burton can return to this form. I think the big thing is to keep Johnny Depp as far away from this project as possible. And that's because Tim Burton and Johnny Depp together tend to feed off of each other in this very big cycle of weirdness, which gives us movies like Alice in Wonderland or Dark Shadows, where everything is just so bizarre, and it seems almost like it's being bizarre for the sake of being bizarre, rather than actually trying to tell a story. And Temple is saying, and Helena Bonham Carter. I agree. I don't think I would like Helena Bonham Carter playing Miss Peregrine. Just saying. Honestly, I think like somebody like Helen Mirren would be a really good Miss Peregrine. Um, that's all I have to say about that. We'll get into a deeper conversation about Miss Peregrine next week. And I'm going to be bringing on a guest who is a big fan. We're both simultaneously reading the sequel right now, Hollow City, which I'm not that deep into it yet, so I really can't say too much about it. But it definitely like picks up right where this book leaves off and continues the adventure. And I'm definitely curious to see where it goes. So that's all I've got. The Skype line is open, and you are all welcome to call in anytime you want. I see I've got another friend request from Eva. So let's see here. Or maybe Emma Thompson as Miss Peregrine. That's a thought. The only thing Jan is saying, the only thing Johnny Depp should be thinking about is Pirates 5. I need my Jack Sparrow fix. And, okay, the idea of Emma Thompson playing Miss Peregrine is actually a pretty good one. I think that would be good. She could definitely do it. Oh, looks like we got a call. And it looks like it's Eva. Let's get this up here. Hello? Hello! Hey! Hello, Eva! I can hear you. Can everybody else hear you? Whoa. Oh, okay. Okay, so I can hear you. I'm wondering if anybody else can hear you in the chat. Uh, uh, it seems like everybody can hear you. So hello and welcome. It's finally good to speak to you face to face, so to speak. Um, okay, they're saying they can't hear you. So okay, what did I do last time? Dun, da, da, da. Okay. Okay, can they hear you now?
Hello. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can they hear you? That is the big question. Okay. Yeah, speak, say something just so I can get some levels on you. Okay, so there's some echo. There's they're saying they can hear some echo. Okay, but that might have been when I changed the. Uh, okay, Temple is saying she can hear now. I'm sorry. We'll figure this out. I'm sorry about this. Uh, uh, I stole is saying she didn't get to talk much last week, so she was hoping to call in again today. Yes, you definitely can. I stole. Don't worry. Uh, okay, so let's just keep talking and see if everybody hears it. so so I'm glad you called in because I've been wanting to introduce everybody to you. Okay, now they're saying they can't hear you. Yeah. Okay, how about now? How about now? Can they hear you now? Blah blah blah. And now everybody's getting commercials. It seems to happen like every 5 minutes. uh, Okay. Okay, can you hear me? Okay, you hear her. Somebody's hearing her. Somebody's hearing you. Uh, 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 okay. Okay. So I wanted to talk to you a bit about your artwork because you were the one who gave us the fantastic logo for the show, and I know that that was a piece of fan art that you made and just posted on the Facebook page. But what are it is being an artist something you do as a living, or is it something you want to do for a living, or okay. Yeah. Uh, so if you don't mind my asking, what inspired you to do a picture for Torn Book Club? Because we had only been doing the show for a couple of months at that point. Um, mm-hmm. Okay, cool. All right, so people say they can barely hear you, so let me try this. Okay, let's try talking to you again. Uh, okay, I've boosted the volume as high as it can go, so hopefully that will help. Maybe how high is your microphone volume? Because I mean, and you're okay, because it's you're coming through fine on my end, so I'm not sure what is going on here or how I can make it louder. Uh, yeah, because this is about as loud as I can make it. Uh, let's see here. Okay, let's try another one of these. Um, okay. Uh, so why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself? How you started, or what kind of fandoms you're into, or how you got into Lord of the Rings. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Uh, Everybody's still saying that you're coming through as a low mumble, which I don't understand how that can be happening, and I don't know what to do to fix that. Okay. Uh, all right, but stay close to your Skype because I want to get you back. Okay. All right. Bye. Okay. So, so everybody is saying they couldn't really hear that all that well. So, all right. Let's let's see if we can get another caller in here. Yeah, we couldn't really we couldn't figure out why you couldn't hear all that well. She was coming through fine on my end. Um and like all of our volumes were turned up as high as they could be. So I'm not entirely sure why the volume was so low. Um, Light of the King, if you want to call in, why don't you? And let's see if we can figure this out. See if we can get a couple other callers in, and maybe through that we can figure out what needs to happen. Maybe that'll help. I don't know. Okay, can everybody hear that? Hello? Hello, can you hear me? Okay. All right, I can hear you. Can everybody else hear you? That's the big question. So, because yeah, your volume is coming through. Your volume is coming through fine on my end. I can hear me in the background a little bit on your end, so maybe turn down your speakers a little bit. Okay, okay, okay. Aravandi is saying that she can hear you, so that's something. Jan is saying I've actually been thinking a lot about posting the Torn logo along with a few words to my local library so we can get more viewers. What do you think about that? I think that's a great idea, Jan. Please do that. uh, so so if we can hear you, then let's chat for a bit. So how long have you been a member of the touring community? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Uh, we started a little bit earlier than that. We started probably in about October or so. Um, and Kelly was on the book club in November, I think, whenever the weekend of the premiere was, because she happened to be in town, and so I had her on for that. Mm-hmm.
I saw Star Wars when I was 7 years old in 1977, and
Mm-hmm.
my dad was like totally into Star Trek. So we watched all, like in the 70s, watched all the Star Trek episodes growing up, because he loved that. And yeah, I just have always loved Star Wars, always loved Tolkien. But I don't know, as a teenager, because I wasn't really into books, I didn't really go into those stories. I just kind of would, maybe see the movies here and there or whatever. And even when the Lord of the Rings movies came out, I was living overseas, I was in graduate school, I was kind of all over the map, so I never even saw the Lord of the Rings movies in the theaters. I just saw them when they came out on DVD. And for me, I think what I love so much, I mean, of course, I love the movies and we all love the movies, but for me, it's more that when I read the books, it was like 10 times better than the movies ever were for me. It opened up this whole other, the world that I wanted to so unlock with Tolkien. So that was amazing for me. So just the fact that I'm in a book club, I know I've said this before to you personally, but the fact that I'm in a book club to me is just kind of stunning. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think that's fantastic that you've been able to do that, to work like that, and that we've been able to help you like that. That really makes me feel amazing. That that you're able to that we're able to provide you a means for getting through this um, this handicap that you have.
Yeah.
But I think that's fantastic, and
Yeah.
I'm so pleased to hear that. Okay, so I did a little tweaking with the sound, and it seems like people can hear you now, but they're saying there's a lot of echo.
Okay.
But that's on my end. Can you still hear the echo out there, everybody? Somebody speak. Somebody say something.
Hello?
Uh,
Hello?
somebody say something in the chat. How is the audio now? Uh, Eravandi says, I finally finished reading not only the LOTR trilogy, but the appendices as well last week. Congratulations! That is a
Ooh,
that is a major feat.
awesome. Totally.
Okay, there's still some echo. Jan is saying, only a teeny tiny bit. Okay. Well,
Is
then
that better?
I guess we'll just have to deal with the teeny tiny bit of echo.
Speaking of Echo, I think that new Echo movie is going to be the new. It looks like a new E.T. Have you seen the trailer for it?
Oh, is that
Echo?
the one with the little robot that the kids find?
Yeah.
That looks interesting. Like it looks kind of like a found footage version of like E.T. or something like that, and I don't know how well that will go. We'll have to see.
Yeah. I wanted to I wanted to video Skype, but my hair is just not as cute as Eva's, so.
Well, to be fair, few people's hair can be as cute as Eva's, so like that's just a cross we're all gonna have to bear. So what is Jan saying? I just rewatched The Two Towers, and I definitely don't agree with Vigo. It felt incredibly real to me, not at all like like The Hobbit. Uh, uh, The Two Towers definitely feels like it has a gritty realism to it. Yes. Maybe not so much in the Hobbit movies, but so we. Oh, there you are.
Here I am. Yeah, okay. See,
Ah.
this is the ponytail hairdo. Yeah.
Oh, that still looks nice.
Here, I gotta turn the light on. So this is kind of like my little. I don't know if you can see this, but.
I can see it. Let's see how big it is on the screen here. What happened? Okay.
So here's my copy of Beowulf.
All right.
That.
Nice.
Totally. And then here's my all-time favorite copy of The Hobbit.
Oh, is that the new one with the new illustrations?
Yeah, Jemima Caitlin.
Yeah.
Illustrations. Yeah, she's friends with Arwen Kirster, who's the Middle Earth News gal.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I know her.
Yeah. So these are kind of my little. I've got all my. I don't know if you can see my Tolkien books.
Did I see David Copperfield there?
Yep, I love Dickens.
Excellent.
I love Dickens. So he's another favorite author. Besides Jane Austen, of course.
Of course.
Everything's British.
All right. Well, that is a wonderful setup you got there.
Yeah, so it's my little start of a book collection,
Okay. Well, you got to start somewhere. I mean,
I know.
yeah, most of my book collection is still back in storage in Philadelphia. So I'm slowly like building it back up out here.
Oh, wow, yeah. So I've got my Marvel t-shirt on. I'm representing my Marvel universe today.
Excellent. That's right. Yeah, because you work for Disney, don't you?
Yes, I work for the mouse.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. So we got to have another Ringer Day at Disney.
We really do. I unfortunately missed the last one, and so I need to go to the next one. But of course, they just raised prices at Disneyland, so that makes it a little tougher for everybody to go. But it's got to be done.
Yeah, and I sent you. I think I know a couple weeks back I sent you a Facebook message. If we have another Ringer Day, I can get in 3 people for free.
Oh yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you just gotta bribe me with cookies or something. But
oh, cookies I got. Cookies I can get you.
We got geeks and cookies.
That's all you really need. Jan is saying, "Oh, so you can tell us secrets about the new Star Wars movie."
I know. I'm trying. I'm seriously gonna try to put my ear to someone's executive's door up there at the studios or something. I don't know, but
It's tough. it's tough to like get in on that executive news. Like, I work at CBS, and like a couple of months ago, the big news was David Letterman was leaving, and Stephen Colbert was tapped to take his place. And
Oh.
I didn't know about that until the announcement, and then I go into the office, and there's like all these people walking around, like, "Yep, I knew. Yep, I knew." And I'm like, "How did you know? Where was I?"
Oh, classic. Classic. So yeah, so I don't know if people got to hear like if the sound was muffled when I was sort of sharing my kind of I don't know fandom story, or if that was.
You might have been. It might have been too low at that point. So yeah, why don't you try? Why don't you tell us that story again, so people can hear it
Yeah.
again?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was just kind of give you the Reader's Digest version. I mean, I started. I mean, I guess my three favorite fandoms are Tolkien, Star Wars, and Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
And I started loving Star Wars when I was 7 years old, and I saw it in a drive-in movie theater in 1977, the summer it came out. I know it came out in May of '77, but I think I saw it in like July of '77. And then my dad loves Star Trek, so we would watch every single original like '70s Star Trek episode full on, like
Mm-hmm.
that was the deal. And then when I was about 10 years old, so I've always loved the Star Wars franchise. When I was about 10 years old, I read The Hobbit, and I felt actually my first, uh, when I first saw the Hobbit was through the Rankin and Bass movie
Right.
on television.
Yep.
And then I read the book when I was 10. And then, but I, of course, because of my dyslexia, I always struggled with reading. And I hardly read anything throughout high school. I mean, I just read enough to graduate, basically. I read some Shakespeare, read some Dickens. I
Mm-hmm.
love Dickens. But and then, somehow made it through college. But last year, as I shared, I decided that I wasn't going to let my dyslexia keep me from the stories that I loved and from, the parts of those worlds that I wanted to just, be a part of and share in. And so I read The Hobbit again last year, and then I read the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy, including the appendices, another huge accomplishment. And then I got involved in the OneRing.net, saw they had the Hobbits online, that whole thing, and then of course went to the premiere in LA, and then here I am in this book club that, I mean, for me, I get really emotional about it because it's very special to me. So that's something that it's just opened up this whole new world of me saying that I'm not going to let my disability, make my decisions for me. So that's been a
That's
big step.
that's so incredible, and I'm so glad you're here, and that you can we can help you on this journey.
Yeah, yeah, it's fun. And I love our group. It's so special, and I mean, just all these things that are just coming up. I'm so excited for Beowulf, and I
Yeah.
mean, as we get closer to movie number 3, I know we're all just going to be going crazy,
Oh yeah.
uh, waiting for that. And I don't know when do you think Kelly will be on for the Beowulf?
Well, we're still trying to work out a date for that specific episode, because
Okay.
she has a very busy schedule. I have a very busy schedule. We're trying to find like a good time. Um,
Yeah.
hopefully sometime within the next month or so.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, 'cause I know they're going to Dragon Con in Colorado or something.
They're going to Denver Comic Con, which is the weekend of the 13th.
Father's Day weekend. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then I don't know, they may or may not be going to Fantasy Con in Salt Lake City, which is July 4th weekend.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So, so yeah, it's just like it's trying to get our schedules to mesh, but it will happen even if we need to pre-record a conversation and can't do it live.
Yeah, just Skype in like we're doing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Okay.
Well, I wanted to give everybody. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to give everybody else, a chance to share and call in, and I wanted to give Eva a chance to call in again, and hopefully the sound will, work
Yeah,
again. So.
I think we got to figure it out now. So thank you for
Okay.
being the guinea pig, and thank you for sharing your story with us.
Awesome, awesome. Well, you guys are all awesome. It's so fun too. Now you can see. I mean, for those of you that aren't friends with me on Facebook, you can see my little world here in Southern California.
Yes. All right. Well, you take care, and we'll talk again soon.
Okay, awesome. I'm gonna go back to the chat.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
Bye.
take care, Josh.
Okay. All right, let's end that. There we go. Okay. So, so that was Light of the King, and what a fantastic story she has. Um, so now this whole thing seems to be working. So Ava, if you're still there, please try calling in again, and we can actually talk, and everybody can see your cute hair again. So, so yeah, like I have to say, like Light, your story just always blows my mind that this group has helped you in such a fantastic way, because dyslexia is definitely a can definitely hold you back, and but it sounds like you were doing a lot of reading even before then, like reading Lord of the Rings, reading Dickens, which are that's no small thing, especially for somebody with dyslexia. So, and that's more than a lot of people who I know who have dyslexia have done. So I have to say, like, you are truly an inspiration. um, oh, here we go. We've got Ava. Okay. All right. Now can we hear you?
Hi,
Hi.
can you hear me?
Uh, so so introduce yourself real quickly, and let's see what people say.
Hi, everyone.
Hi. Okay. So you where are you located? You're in Finland, right?
Yeah, I'm currently here in Helsinki or near Helsinki.
Okay.
It's a suburb where I live.
Okay. So what time is it over there right now?
Uh, it's almost 11 o'clock at night.
Oh wow. Okay. So this is a good way to end the day then, I guess.
Yeah, it's a really nice way to end the week. Just like hang out with you guys and
Yeah.
talk about some stuff. So it's really cool.
Yeah. So there is a I think I haven't told too many people this, but I was wondering if it was okay to tell people a little bit about the little project you and I are working on together, if we want to keep that a secret for now.
You can say anything if you want.
Okay. um,
Okay.
so we're working. I've told some people that I wrote a book about 10 years ago called Ben. It's a story about Ben Franklin time traveling to today, and recently I got the idea of rewriting it or redoing it, reworking it a bit, and putting it out as like for real this time, not like some like sort of I sort of like stumbled my way through the publishing process 10 years ago and didn't really do a whole lot with it publicity wise, and it sort of fell between the cracks. And so about a month ago, or maybe a little bit longer, I approached you, Eva, to possibly do a new cover art for it. And um, last what was it, about 2 weeks ago, you sent me your sketch for the cover, and I have to say it absolutely blew my mind. Like,
Okay, that's really nice.
and I know I said as much to you via email, and I haven't shown it to many other people. I've shown it to my family, and I've shown it to my mom and my stepdad, and they both were immediately like, "Oh my God, you need to finish this book, Josh, just so that you can put something out with that cover on it."
Okay, that's so cool.
So you are definitely a hit. So so what one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about was well tell us a little bit about because we weren't I was able to hear you, but I don't think many other people were able to hear you. What is your history with fandom with or with Lord of the Rings, or fandom in
Well,
general?
yeah, I think I read The Hobbit before I read Lord of the Rings, but I'm not quite sure. I can't remember. But I read The Lord of the Rings when I was about 15, and I think it took me about a year to finish like the whole thing. And yeah, I really love fantasy books, and also love like ghost stories, and
Okay.
I'm a big Supernatural fan. I love Supernatural. That's one of my favorite TV
Oh yeah,
shows.
yeah. I love Supernatural. I loved the season finale. That one was pretty intense.
I haven't seen it, so
Oh,
that's
okay. All right, all right, all right. I won't say anything.
yeah,
it was this season has been good.
yeah. So yeah,
So,
I just love everything fantasy, and like fantasy movies, and I also love the Marvel movies, and I think like Captain America's Winter Soldier
hmm
was so awesome.
yeah, it's probably my favorite of the cinematic universe movies so far.
Yeah, that was so cool. I want to see it again, but I just haven't had time. So
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
yeah.
I wanted to see it again, but then this weekend X-Men came out, so I'm like, okay, I have to see that.
Yeah, I haven't seen that either.
Miles of untapped data.
Sorry, I got
Wow.
some ads.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was an ad.
Oh wow. Okay. I
Yeah. Okay, and
so so when did you get into doing artwork and graphic design, or how did that come about?
well, I've been drawing like my whole life, so
Hmm.
I just yeah, I'm a graphic designer, and I also do like I'm a visual merchandiser as well. So
Hmm.
I do shop design, and but that's something that it's like not my passion. My passion is illustration and art, so maybe I will try to go into that a bit more.
Yeah. Well, I think you definitely should, because you have an amazing talent. Like, I mean, right away when you posted that Torn Book Club fan art on the Facebook page, like I was stunned by it. Like, I am still stunned by it. like
Oh, that's
because I mean, I was pretty much doing it all on my own. I'm like, okay, I've got some skills in Photoshop, so I'll just cobble something together for the show. And then I see your artwork show up on the Facebook page, and I'm like, oh my God, this needs to be the show's logo. This is incredible. So you it, I'm really glad that you've come across the book club and that you love it so much.
yeah. I think it's just so cool that we like there's a term like there's a book club where people read books that I actually like, and
Yeah.
you can get like tips about books that you maybe how do you say it, like wouldn't come across like elsewhere, like
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, no, I know what you mean, and it's kind of funny because I mean, theonering.net has been around for 15 years now, and we haven't really had like our own sort of book discussion group. Like we have Barleyman's Chat and we have the Hall of Fire, but and those are book discussion groups, but they talk only about Lord of the Rings or only about Tolkien, and
yeah.
and I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I love Tolkien. I love talking about Tolkien, but there are so many other wonderful books out there, and I thought it was time that we like really start to expand our minds and start to expand our repertoire, and so that's where this whole thing came about.
Yeah.
And and uh and so you also like ghost stories, like horror, or just like sort of like more creepy ghost story type stuff.
Yeah,
Like
I'm really like into like all the, I don't know, like old like Scottish, and like I just went to Dublin like a month ago or something.
mm-hmm.
I went, it's like the ghost walk that they do like around the city,
Oh,
and they
cool.
tell like ancient ghost stories about the city, like from their history and stuff like that. So I'm like really into that, and they take you to the places like where the things actually like happened.
Oh,
So I,
wow.
yeah, those kind of stuff is just so cool.
Oh, that's so cool. Um,
Yeah.
and so Jan is saying Ava likes soundtracks. Is that true? You
Yeah,
do?
yeah. That's basically almost the only kind of music I listen to.
Mm-hmm.
Some music.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like that's usually what I have playing when I'm working or when I'm writing. And what who are some of your favorite composers?
Well, Howard Shore.
Mm-hmm. Of
Yeah,
course.
and I didn't really know that much about. I think it was called Jackman who did the Winter Soldier soundtrack.
Oh,
Henry
right,
Jack.
yeah. Henry Jackman, yeah.
Yeah. So I think the Winter Soldier soundtrack is really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of different, but I really like it. So that's maybe what I've been listening to the most, like recently.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm usually listening to a lot of the trailer music composers like Two Steps from Hell or Audio Machine or people like that.
Yeah. I
Um,
also really like the Transformer soundtracks.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh God, who
I
did?
think that like the movies they're okay. Like I'm not like a huge fan or anything, but the music is super awesome.
I absolutely agree. Like I can really sort of
Hans
take or leave the
Zimmer.
movies,
Yeah.
but
It's what was he called? Steve
Steve
Jablonsky.
Steve Jablonsky, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard name. Yeah. So
Uh,
I think that's really good.
hmm Yeah, another composer who I really like, who is sort of falling under the radar, is Brian Tyler.
Oh yeah. Did he do the Thor
Yeah, he did
Thor
Thor
two?
2.
Yeah.
He did he did another Marvel movie. And I can't remember which one. Uh,
Yeah, but
oh, it
yeah,
was
I think
Iron
that
Man 3. That's right.
yeah, Thor 2, the soundtrack is better than the number one, I think.
I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
Um, and everybody's talking about how much they love the Narnia soundtracks now. Those are good.
Yeah, I have the first one, but I don't have the others. Yeah,
Um,
it's okay.
yeah, I like the first one. I sort of felt the second one was mostly a rehash with a couple new themes. But I mean, that was kind of my criticism of the Star Wars prequels too. Was that it was mostly rehashes of the old themes with just like
Yeah,
a couple new ones peppered in there.
that's true.
Um, So so that's very cool. Uh, one of the, one of the other things that I noticed was you have this one art piece that I've seen on your Facebook page. It looks almost like something out of Coraline or something out of Tim Burton. It's like this little girl with like really big eyes. Um, was that inspired by like a Tim Burton sort of thing?
Oh yeah, I love Tim Burton and Nightmare Before Christmas is my favorite movie.
Mm-hmm.
So
Of course.
and I like weird puppets and like stuff like that. So that was just some like drawing I did over a weekend.
You did that over
Just
a
for,
weekend? Oh my god.
yeah. When I start drawing, I tend to draw like 10 hours
Wow. Wow.
nonstop. So yeah.
Wow, I don't think I've been that dedicated to any one project ever. And this is this is from a guy who's been working on Star Trek for the last 3 years. Like
Yeah.
I don't once I hit that 10-hour mark on just about anything, like I am completely useless to everybody. Uh, so what are some of the things people are saying in the chat? It seems that the closest we have to classical music now is quality soundtrack music. Other orchestral music just doesn't get heard as much as soundtrack music, and that's pretty true. Um, and Eruvandi is saying, okay, Eruvandi is saying I like contemporary Christian, Celtic, country soundtracks and limited amounts of pop music. Okay, Light of the King is asking Ava, if you were ever to come to LA, we will take you to Disneyland and you can go on the Haunted Mansion during the holidays when it's Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. Like they do a complete makeover of the Haunted Mansion. That's all Nightmare Before Christmas themed. Like they've got Jack Skellington animatronics. The singing ghosts are replaced with singing pumpkins. They changed the soundtrack completely. It's a amazing makeover.
You know what? I was thinking about that the other day, like the Haunted Mansion.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've only been to Disney, sorry, to Disney World and Disneyland Paris,
Yeah.
and I was thinking that why hasn't anyone ever made like a Nightmare Before Christmas ride into like
Yep.
in Disneyland?
Oh, there.
So maybe that's yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Yeah, if you come out to LA, they usually transform it around October, and it stays that way through December. So if you come to LA anytime between those 2 months, we will definitely take you to Disneyland and wait 2 hours to go on the ride, but it'll be worth it.
I think it was like 2 nights ago. I was listening to the Nightmare Before Christmas soundtrack. And I was just thinking, like, is it too early to get really excited about Halloween?
You know what? I was the same way. We have a 365 days a year Halloween store out here in Burbank called Halloween Town, and it's always Halloween. It's Halloween there all the time. And last week I decided just to go in there and just browse around and just start getting ideas for what I wanted to do for October, because I'm like, you know what? It's never too early to start planning.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's see. Rovandier is saying I've been in the Haunted Mansion in Disneyland Paris. Was awesome, but I couldn't take it seriously that there was a crow sound the whole time. I've never been to the one in Paris. I've watched YouTube videos of the ride through, and it seems like it's a much darker version. Like, 'cause I know it's called a Phantom Manor in Disneyland Paris. It's not called the Haunted Mansion. And I seem to remember that it's just like it's got a much darker theme to it than the Haunted Mansion in Disneyland or Disney World.
Does the one in Disneyland, does it have like the elevator
Yeah.
at the beginning
Mm-hmm.
where you have the paintings
Yeah.
and then it goes?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
all of that is there. I'm talking about like when you're going through the graveyard at the end, like it seems to me like in the Paris version, there's a much stronger narrative in that, with like a bride who is who either kills herself or is killed, and there's like a demon who
Yeah.
is like haunting her or has cursed the house, and she is kind of like trapped between dimensions or something like that.
Think of
Meanwhile,
something.
meanwhile, the one in the U.S. is this is just a place where ghosts come to have a good time.
Okay. Well, I like the Paris one better than the story. I like the story better. I
Yeah,
like the dark one.
yeah. Like I've seen some ride throughs of it, and I mean the soundtrack for it is actually really cool. Like
Yeah.
it's very epic and orchestral. Let's see, everybody's talking about travel now. The Eravandi saying the farthest I've ever been from home is Florida, and I'm in Virginia. That's yeah. I haven't done too much traveling. I did when I was in college. I went to the Cannes Film Festival when I was in film school, and then I did a semester in Tokyo. And I've road tripped across the country probably about 4 or 5 times. But you seem to travel a lot, at least looking at your Facebook page.
Yeah, well, I do some travel for work,
Uh huh.
but then also I do travel a lot, so I guess that's kind of, yeah, that's what I enjoy. And
Nice.
when you live like here up in the north,
Mm-hmm.
like you have to travel like to
Yeah.
stay like
Just
staying in your
yeah.
mind because you want to see the world. You can't stay here like in the middle of nowhere like all the time.
Yeah. uh. Okay. Temple is saying, I wish I could afford to travel right now. I'd take off for almost anywhere in a heartbeat. My wanderlust hasn't been sated in a while. That's a Temple. I know the feeling, Temple. It's been a while for me. Jan wants me to talk about film school. I I'll talk about it another time. It's a it was not the greatest experience for me. I'll be honest. Uh, let's see. Rovandir is saying I would love to work with costume making for movies. That would be cool.
That sounds cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So well, thank you so much for coming in and chatting with us. Is it Eva or is it Ava?
Well, it's Eva, but
Oh,
everyone calls me Eva because
okay.
of the two. I
Okay.
guess.
All
Yeah.
right. That's what I thought. Okay, I'm calling you Ava from now on, just so I don't sound like a jerk.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming, Ava, and thank you for chatting with us. And I look forward to talking to you again and seeing you in the chat. So, thank you.
Thanks. Okay.
Okay,
Bye.
bye. There we go. Okay. So that was Ava. And yeah, it's very cool to hear some of her story. Let's see. Light of the King says my good friend went to USC Film School and now she works for Disney. Um, I started Rovandir. I started learning myself how to knit this weekend, going surprisingly well. Oh, okay. That's cool. That's cool. So Jan was asking me to talk a little bit about going to film school. I'm gonna be honest with you. I did not have a very good experience in film school. Um, I I went to I Stole the One Ring. Should I give it a try? Yes, you should. Please call in. Um, when I went to I went to a Temple University film school, which was supposed to have a very good film program at the time, and what I discovered was it was mostly theory and very little practical experience. And one of the things that happened was after I graduated, it was very difficult for me to find work because I had all of this theoretical experience and I had a film degree, but I had no practical experience, and so it was this double shot against me. One, having a film degree creates a prejudice in the industry that you are pretentious, or you think you know things go a certain way, and you're going to be more resistant to how directors and producers work, which means that you're going to be difficult to work with. And if you're just going for an entry level position like a production assistant or something like that, nobody has any patience for that, and so they're gonna look over you, or they're gonna pass over you. The other thing was that since I didn't have any practical experience, I nobody wanted to give me a job because there was too much of a learning curve. So it was really difficult for me to find work for a long time after film school. I was working on a lot of independent projects around Philadelphia, just like trying to get some sort of experience, or trying to get some practical hands-on knowledge, which I didn't really get that much in film school, and I felt that really hindered me a great deal when I went off into the world. They really tried to hammer into me the idea that as a filmmaker, you are an artist, and as an artist, you must never make money from your art, which I think is one of the stupidest things I've ever heard in my life. But they really tried to hammer in this idea of being a starving artist, which I'm like, I'm already forking out all this money for film school so that I can get the skills so that I don't become a starving artist. So I had a real problem with film school, and I would recommend to anybody who is thinking of going to film school, try out a couple other majors, and try to find something else, because the best film education that you can get is like working on some sort of independent set, and like you really do need to like get to know people, and you really need to like sort of push your way in there, but that's the only way that it's really going to happen. So that's my film school story, and I keep waiting for the day that I become successful enough that my school invites me back to give a lecture, just so that I can tell a room full of film students, you are on the wrong path. We'll get there eventually. So I stole the One Ring. If you want to call in, feel free to anytime. Or if anybody else wants to call in, feel free to anytime. I know I stole. You said you were waiting until I finished my story, so I am done. So you can call in. Light of the King says, I was an art history major, and I always get upset about artists like Van Gogh, who was poor and people paid so much for them later. That's very true. And that's the unfortunate thing with people like him, was that like they never got we got a call from I Stole the One Ring. Hello. Hello? Hello, I Stole.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Hello. Can you see me?
I can't see you. Oh, there you are.
Hi.
Hi, how are you? Can you see us? Can you see us all right? Can you hear us all right? Okay. So how are things going with you? I know we tried to talk last week, and it didn't.
I'm good.
We kind of weren't able to chat as much, unfortunately. So hopefully we'll be able to now.
I can hear you. It's pretty cutting in and out, but it's my internet, I think.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. Hold on.
Whoa.
Sorry, that was me. My iPad started, let's play the video now. I was like, no! Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into Lord of the Rings and how you discovered the One Ring?
Okay. See, I got into Lord of the Rings about the time the movie came out, and so, like I said last time, that we saw the film and my sister wanted to see it, and she's like, "Oh, I want to see that movie." So we saw the movie and we liked it and enjoyed it. And then Grandma told us that it was a book, and we're like, "Oh, okay." So then we had to get the book. So that's how I kind of got into Lord of the Rings in a funny way. And then I found Torn Tuesday.
Okay.
And then just kind of went from there.
Cool.
So,
Torn Tuesday it's a fun one. It's Cliff and Justin they're a riot.
yeah. But I like you too, Josh. So.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Thanks.
My favorite, so. I like hanging out with you too. So.
Okay, cool. Thank you. So tell us about some of the books that you've read, or what are some of your favorites?
My favorites are Harry Potter. I love Harry Potter. I'm into those. I read every book. It was funny. The last book, Harry Potter book, The Deathly Hollow. I never stayed up all night to read any of the Harry Potter books, and that one I did. I spent all night reading Harry Potter and Deathly Hollow because I had to know what happened. So.
Yeah, yep. I was right there. I had a couple sleepless nights plowing through Deathly Hallows. But it's fun. It's fun, like finding a book that you are into so much that you're like, you know what? I don't need to sleep tonight. I'm just gonna keep reading.
Yeah, yeah. And then I like mystery books. I love reading mystery books.
Okay. Like
So I'm into kind of mysteries.
what kinds of mysteries, or like?
Um, well, I'm into James Patterson.
Okay.
What else? Those kind of mysteries.
Okay.
Ooh.
James Patterson is cool.
Yeah.
I've read a couple of
But
his
you kind
books.
of expanded my vocabulary in that because I had never read sci-fi, and so I'm getting into sci-fi.
Cool.
So
Yeah.
it's good to
Yeah.
get that full.
Cool. Yeah. So what else is there? So you have a twin sister, yes?
Yes. Oh yes.
Okay. Because
I'm gonna do the old switcheroo on you again. Like I already did that with
that's so funny because like the twin switcheroo is kind of like one of the big elements of the Prestige. And I was like,
Yeah.
ooh, you could totally do that on me, and I'd never know.
Well, everybody kind of saw that already, so I was like, yeah, okay.
Looks like some of our European folks are gonna be leaving soon because it's getting pretty late. It's well, okay. So Rovandir is saying it annoys me a bit because I really want to be there every time, but well, time zones. So yeah. That's the unfortunate thing about having a worldwide audience is sometimes the time is just not going to match up quite right.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I guess Torn Tuesday is much later than this is. 'Cause that's on what, Tuesdays at 5.
Yeah.
And I'm rarely able to watch Torn Tuesday because I'm usually at work. But what's
Well, I was watching it, but they moved it to Justin TV, and I have a hard time watching it on Justin TV.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't watch it anymore.
Yeah, and that's another thing you might have noticed on the screen, that the Justin TV chat is missing from the chat screen this week, and that's because Justin TV apparently seems to be down right now. So
I didn't even know this.
yeah, so it's a good thing that I've or it may be up now, but it wasn't when I started. So it seems most people are here on the Ustream channel anyway, but I still simulcast to both, just so that you never know, we could get some new audience members every now and then. We got a few new ones with Happy Hobbit giving us a little shout out on Facebook, so that was cool. So Jan is asking, have you met any famous talk show hosts or something at your work, Josh? I have. I've bumped into Craig Ferguson several times. Bumped into Drew Carey several times. They also shoot a real time with Bill Maher at our studio, and so they have an after party in the conference room outside our studio after the show every Friday night. And so, I've bumped into Bill Maher, Bill Nye, Neil deGrasse Tyson, Salman Rushdie. So, just like little known people. Just like hanging out outside the office getting drunk. I stole. You live in a farm or something like that, or you live like.
Yes, I do. I live in a farm.
Okay, whereabouts?
Cool.
What area?
It's between Fresno and Bakersfield.
Okay. So kind of between here and Happy Hobbit Land.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's cool. So are you are you removed from civilization, or are you able to get out to a a bigger town or something like that, or do you just sort of stay home?
No, we live near a town. This town's near us, but I think the closest one is like 5 miles from us.
Okay. Oh, that's a hike.
We're kind of far out there, but we're out in the middle of nowhere, but we have towns near us, so.
Okay. Do you like living out there?
Oh yeah, it's quiet.
Quiet is nice, yeah.
It's quiet.
Yeah. I am envious of that. Like I spend a lot of time like being envious of like people like you and Keely and Feely who get to live in these beautiful rural areas that are just far enough away from the world that you can just sort of be peaceful, because I live in a big city and it grates on you after a while.
Yeah, I tried the whole city thing. We have cousins and we slept over, and it's like, okay, yeah, I don't like it here. It's noisy. It's like, I want to go home.
Yeah. Light of the King says she grew up on a farm in censored for some reason. For some reason, Ustream decided to censor that, but okay. But she says it was the best. So
know what farm she lived on.
yeah, no, it's redacted. It's government secrets.
Maybe aliens come down there.
You grew up on Area 51? Wow. Oh, Oregon. Okay. I know. Okay, what? Okay, Jan is asking, what is your favorite Tolkien/PJ movie and why?
Oh, it had to be Lord of the Rings, because that's how we got into it. how we were introduced to Lord of the Rings. Oops.
Oh,
Sorry.
that's all right. That's all right.
A button. Bad idea. So yeah, Lord of the Rings. That would have to be the one.
Okay. Yeah, I have to agree. Of all of Peter Jackson's movies, and I think at this point I've seen almost all of them, Lord of the Rings is definitely my favorite. Okay, now Jan's being specific. Which Lord of the Rings movie?
Today you want to be specific. Well, that's the problem.
That's like...
I'm going to say Return of the King because we saw it in theater. That was the first one we saw in theater. And it was jam-packed. It was our first time going to the movie by ourselves. Just me and my sister went. So that was awesome. So it has to be Return of the King.
Okay. That's a really good experience, yeah. I think for me, my favorite is still Fellowship, if we have to choose. And that's because that one felt like the most self-contained of all of the Lord of the Rings movies. And it was also our first glimpse into the cinematic version of Middle-earth. And for me, that was just a mind-exploding experience when I first saw it on the big screen. So it's those memories that make that one my favorite.
Yeah.
Let's see. Ravander is saying, I love Rivendell and Lake Town. Light of the King says, I love them all. It's so hard to choose, but book-wise, I love The Two Towers. But Fellowship movie-wise. Okay. So that's cool. Yeah, I sort of feel like, yeah, you sort of... Because the Lord of the Rings movies really are one full movie in and of itself. But it sort of feels like your takeaway or your experience with each one sort of informs what you consider to be your favorite of all three. Because I know for me, seeing Fellowship and that being my first time seeing Middle-earth on the big screen was such an overwhelming experience that because of that, Fellowship became my favorite movie. And then you had your experience of being able to see Return of the King in the theater with your sister, and that's a big experience, so that makes sense. Let's see. Light of the King says the books were 10 times better than the movies for me. And now Jan is asking normal version or extended version.
Oh gosh, both. I own both, so.
Okay. Well, okay, then let's just let's ask this. Like, if you were just like on a whim, like one day you're like, you know what, I'm feeling the need to watch some Lord of the Rings. Which one do you go for? Which one does your hand immediately go for? The regular version or the extended version?
Extended.
Okay. I'm the same way. I'm actually worse than that. I'm worse than that. I only own the extended versions. Okay, that's not entirely true. I do own the limited edition of Lord of the Rings that has both the theatrical and extended editions on it, but I only have that because Warner Brothers gave us a whole bunch of them for giveaways at one of our Baggins picnics, and I just snatched one for myself. Because, hey, free Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Heck yeah, I'm for it. Sweet stuff.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah, exactly. Eruvandi is saying, I only discovered Lord of the Rings around this time last year, but I already own both the normal and extended versions. All right. Don't you love it when you like discover something and you're immediately like, I need to own everything and know everything there is to know about this? Like,
yeah.
that's happened to me a couple of times. I think the big one for me lately has been the Foundation series by Isaac Asimov. It's one of those books that like everybody says like it's a classic. You need to read it. Everybody should read it, and yet I know very few people who actually have read it. So I'm like, you know what? Okay, I'll give it a shot. I'll read it, and like probably within like maybe the first few chapters or so, I was so hooked. I was like, I immediately bought every book in the series, and I've read all but one of them at this point. And it's really fun, like finding something that like just sort of busts open that like obsessive part of your brain where you're like, I need to have everything in this. So Arivandi says, I've got the Silmarillion and Children of Hurin on my reading list now. Those are...
Oh, shit. Don't talk about that with me, because I have not read those yet. And
I
tried so many times.
I still haven't read a...
Completely fixed.
That's okay. I haven't read Children of Hurin yet, which I've heard is good. I do need to read it. I've read most of the Silmarillion, but that's a tough one. That's a tough read. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I think between the two, Children of Hurin is probably an easier read. But of course now we have Beowulf to read. Which,
Another book to add to the list.
Yep. So we're coming up on about an hour and a half, and I'm going to have to get going soon. But it was really good to like actually chat with you for real this time, and not be distracted or get dragged into another conversation with Jan at the same time. So it was nice to be able to talk to you one-on-one for a change. So thank you for calling in, I Stole, and we'll talk again soon. I'll see you on the chat. Okay. Bye. All right. So that's three. So we've had Light of the King and Ava and I Stole the One Ring on the chat line today. It's really cool to like actually like chat with you folks and get to know you one-on-one like this. Jan says, I will send you an email later this week. I want to know which twist in the Prestige you were talking about, if that's okay. Yeah, that's fine. I'm happy to talk about it. I'll tell you right now, and I'll be a little vague about it, but you'll probably know what I'm talking about. The big twist that got me was the twist with Fallon. So now you probably know what I'm talking about. There were some plot holes in it that I was like. Unfortunately, what I found with most Christopher Nolan movies, which is that while they really do have like a really cool story, I Stole the One Ring is saying, "Hope I wasn't too boring." You are not boring. Temple saying, Josh, if you want me to give you a quick report on the Maker Faire next week, I can. I have pictures if I can figure out how to get them on Facebook. That would be amazing, Temple. I would love that. And I Stole the One Ring. Don't worry, you were not boring. You were a lot of fun. I really enjoyed chatting with you. So yeah, like just talking quickly about Christopher Nolan. I find like a lot of his movies have really cool ideas, but the execution of them, while initially looking really cool, like don't really stand up to scrutiny when you actually sit down and think about them a little bit. And not like in like oh that was just total crap kind of way, more like in a oh that really didn't that actually doesn't make as much sense as I initially thought it did. Light of the King says, if anyone wants to connect My Twitter is Lady Kingsbury, and yes, you should follow her. So yeah, it's time to get going. I hope that you all have those of you who have a 3-day weekend this weekend. I hope you enjoy it. I unfortunately do not. I'm going back into work tomorrow, but them's the breaks. Jan says it's not book related, but we should totally do a Nolan show. We could talk about the scripts or something then. We could. I'll try to figure out how to work that in somewhere. And I still is saying I could talk Batman for ages. Oh God, me too. I think between you, me, and Jan, we could do like about 5 Batman shows. And Light of the King will miss next week because she'll be at Disneyland with her family. Oh, darn. You're going to be in Disneyland with your family. Ah, the hard life, I know. I'm gonna bring this to a close because this is Memorial Day weekend and there are picnics and barbecues to go to. Light of the King is going to give Jan a report on Dark Knight Rises. That should be fun. So, thank you everybody for a very lively chat today. Light of the King, Jan, Ava, I Stole, Rovandir, our new member who is finally able to be here for a live show, Eruvandi. Thank you for coming. Who have I missed? Temple, of course, you are here too. And thank you to Light of the King, I Stole the One Ring, and Ava for Skyping in. And now that I've sort of figured out how this Skype thing works a little bit better, I'm going to try to make this a regular thing from now on, where like if you really want to like get your comments in on something, you can just Skype in. And so next week we will be talking Miss Peregrine, and we'll also be revealing our book of the month for June, which you'll probably be able to figure out pretty quickly. It's Beowulf. Thank you for another great show. I hope we can continue. Yes, I'm gonna keep the Skype line open during the shows from now on. Now that I've got this all figured out, and so I look forward to next week and talking Miss Peregrine with everybody and other wonderful book stuff. Have a great holiday weekend. Have a great extended weekend. Have a wonderful Geek Pride Day. Happy birthday, Ian McKellen. And never stop reading.